Hey guys, welcome back. I have a fails or disappointing products video for you today. It's been a while since my last one. I actually have a good few bits accumulated. I'm not going to promise that I won't get lipstick on my teeth, even though I've tried to deal with the situation. I keep getting lipstick on my teeth, so let's just pretend that it's not there if it does happen. I'm going to start off with whatever is kind of at the top of my box. Like I said, I have a few bits in here. First of all was the white with Smile whitening treatment. So I was actually sent this as part of a possible sponsorship. Now, as you know, I don't do many sponsorships, and there's a lot like this that just don't go through. I don't really mention a lot of them, but this one I had such an adverse reaction to. So it's not obviously in the category of something I regret buying because I didn't get it, but I thought it was worth mentioning because I had such an adverse reaction to it. So basically it's one of these bleach based, peroxide based tooth whitening kits, and you see so many people, especially on Instagram. I'm probably going to keep looking at myself to make sure that there's nothing on my teeth. Oh, my lipstick, by the way, if anyone's interested, is the Marilyn Cabernet lipstick by Max Factor. Anyhow, you see so many people pushing this and obviously being sponsored by similar brands, not necessarily just this brand, but pushing the whitening thing. In a lot of pictures as well, you don't actually see them with the stuff on their teeth. You just see them posing like this with it, or with the that light thing that came with this as well. But anyhow, long story short, the reason I decided to mention this is because when I put this in the trays, which were a pain in the arse to mold, I think I've thrown them away since, and then you have to be careful not to put too much peroxide in the trays, because you don't want it going up onto your gums. Regardless of what you do, there'll be always a little bit that goes onto your gums. But this second this touched my teeth and went up a tiny bit onto my gums, I tried to keep it as frugal as possible with the amount that I used. It started to burn my gums, and then I got these big white blisters. I actually was ranting about it on Snapchat when it happened, but I got these big white blisters all over my gums. Turned the actual skin white, and it lasted like that for about 5-10 minutes, and it was really sore and uncomfortable, and I immediately took them out and rinsed it out with water. But I've never had a reaction like that with bleach before, so I don't know if it's just a high concentration or what, but like I said, I thought it was worth mentioning. I'm sure this doesn't happen with everyone, but it definitely happened to me, and the fact that it says sensitivity free is a load of shite, because it definitely wasn't sensitivity free if that happened to me. So yeah, obviously needless to say that sponsorship did not go ahead, like 99% of sponsorships that come towards me. Okay, another tooth whitening thing. Obviously I'm mad for my tooth whitening, and this is the Boots Expert Dental Fast Teeth Whitening Strips. Now, I did buy these myself even, and they weren't expensive. I thought, you know, I'll give them a go, because it was really inexpensive actually. It was like £6 for 56 strips, and I kind of thought these would be like the Crest whitening strips. I know they're peroxide free, but I assumed they were a similar idea, where you would stick it onto your teeth and then you'd be able to take it off after a while. But no, these guys are they are strips, in that they're similar shape, but they're actually more like, do you remember that, I don't even know if it still exists, but that chewing gum that it looks like this, and you put it on your mouth and it just dissolves? Similar to this. So you lick this, or you lick your teeth, I'm not sure. Basically something has to be wet for this to adhere to, and then you stick it onto your teeth, fold it under, and then you just leave it on, and it dissolves itself after I think 10 minutes. But the problem with that is that first, it feels rotten in your mouth. It just gets everywhere. It gets really gunky and kind of mucusy, which I know sounds horrible, but that's what it kind of feels like. And it sticks to the inside of your lips, because obviously they're a little bit moist as well, and then your lips get stuck to your teeth, and it was just an absolute mess. And I gave it a good go for I don't know, a couple of weeks, and yeah, it says here you should see up to 5 shade changes within just 2 weeks. I noticed zippo shade changes, just nothing. I didn't find it any good, and I was giving it a good go. I was using it morning and night, so definitely think these are a complete waste of money. So just as well I didn't spend too much on them. So that was the Expert Dental Fast Teeth Whitening Strips. Now, I know whitening is dependent on the is it the mineral content of your teeth, so not everyone can get as white as other people, but I've definitely had a lot better results with other things. We have a good bit of makeup to talk about today. I'm going to go on to this guy next though. It is the Wrinkle Anti-Wrinkle 2-in-1 Instant Hydration, for the long name, Instant Hydration and Wrinkle Smoother by Olay. So this is like, I think it's like a serum. Yeah. Like, it doesn't actually say if it's a moisturizer or a serum. With Ocean Bionic Complex. I love the idea of this. I love the ingredients of this, because I always look at ingredients before I buy it. No, this is the moisturizer in of itself, actually, yeah. And it's for kind of a wide like age group from 15 to 40. I loved the idea of this and everything, but my problem with this was that it pilled like a mofo. So if you don't know what pill means when it comes to skincare, it's when you like put on a product and then it comes off in these tiny little, like it pills together. How would you describe it? It comes off in these little bits, like it comes off in bits. It's almost like the product just cannot absorb into the skin. And if you kind of start to rub or buff anything else into the skin on top of it, it just pills up together, like it comes off in little bits, and it just looks really weird, and it's just, you don't understand. Like, it doesn't feel like it would, obviously not explaining this well, it doesn't feel like it's doing anything for my skin, because it feels like it's just sitting on my skin rather than absorbing it, if that makes sense. Now, I've had stuff pill on me that other people haven't had a pill on them, so it's not something I throw in the bin, because like I said, I really like the idea of this. And I think my mum could love this, or someone else could love it, but it just didn't suit my skin. Like, certain products will pill on certain skin types for some reason. I don't know the whole science behind it, but this just didn't do it for me. This is supposed to be like an excellent makeup base and everything like that, so in theory this is great. It just wasn't good for me. I did buy it myself as well. I bought this by myself. I was sent one as well, and I can eat it because I was sent one ages ago, and I remember giving it away to my mum, and I kind of forgot why I didn't like it, bought it again, and then I remembered, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, now I remember. So that's that guy by Olay. Let's move on to another skincare thing. So this is something I got recently, and it is the Garnier Softening Toner Goodbye Dry. So it's for normal to dry skin, and I couldn't believe when I first used this, I didn't really bother looking at the ingredients because I had just finished up this guy here, which is the one for sensitive skin, and it is the Soothing Toner. And really liked this. And I had looked at the ingredients because I hadn't started used this yet, so I looked at the ingredients. I saw that this was alcohol free, it has water and glycerin, and various flower extracts and like, yeah, oil extracts and stuff like that. Very high up in the ingredients. So this has a nice ingredient list, felt lovely on the skin, very inexpensive, and I think it was on a deal when I got this. So I started using this one when this one emptied without thinking, and it stung my skin. Straight off stung my skin, which doesn't make sense because usually something that's for dry skin tends to be very soothing and nice and hydrating feeling, and this wasn't. And then lo and behold, I look at the ingredient, and the second ingredient after water is alcohol. So for me, that negates all the other ingredients after it when there's that level. Now, alcohol isn't always the worst thing in ingredients, like or in an ingredient list. It can like it has its reasons or it has its uses, but when it's that high in concentration, because on ingredient lists, the first ingredient is what's most prevalent in the formula, the second ingredient is what's second most prevalent. So, and it smells of alcohol as well. It's supposed to smell like roses, or there's some rose extract in it, but the alcohol is so strong that it actually comes through, and I found this so uncomfortable on the skin, so much so that I'll just be throwing this out, because I wouldn't use this on clients either because it is so high in alcohol. And like I said, there is, like, as long as alcohol is low enough down in the ingredient list, or it's something that you're not using every day. So because this is so high up and it's the kind of product that you would use every day, alcohol over time breaks down the your cells in your skin, like what keeps the cells together and healthy, and it causes a lot of damage. So that's why I would definitely not use that, and I will be throwing that out. There's some products that you might only use once or twice a week, even a couple of times a month, and if they have a bit of alcohol in it, it's not the worst because it's not continuously being used on the skin, so it's not going to have this knock-on effect on your skin, if you know what I mean. So that's why alcohol isn't always the worst. So as long as it's like not something you're using all the time, or it's not really high up in the ingredients, you're usually okay. But for something like this, I don't like it. Loved this one though. It's just the pink one I didn't like. Then a makeup brush that made into it. Actually, there's two brushes in here, and I have 3 brushes, and it's not going to surprise you because I've actually spoken about these in previous fails videos, and these are all from Sigma. Now these could be just because they're old, but as I've mentioned before, I have a lot of brushes that are just as old, if not older than these, and I've not had one brand hands down that gave me as much trouble as Sigma in general. Now the newer brushes, I have like the Sigmax range ones, which are the vegan ones. Just checking my teeth again. They're lovely, absolutely amazing. The newer Sigma ones could be good. I kind of stopped bothering with them so much because I had such a bad experience with a lot of the older ones. This foundation brush, everything just started falling out. Like, for me, that's just not professional level, and I had been using these in my kit for a while, but there was so much breakage and like so much of the hair coming off on my client's skin that I just couldn't use them. So this one here is a repeat offender. It is the one that it used to be called like the SS224, and I know that shows how old it is because it's not called that anymore. It's the one that was like a knockoff of the MAC 224. But saying that, like I said, I have loads of other brands that are just as old that didn't give me the same trouble. So I don't think it's fair enough just to blame it on the age. And similarly with this, the F10, the powder blush brush, I was using this on clients and had to take it out of my kit because there was so many little black broken hairs being left on the skin, and you'd nearly be spending just as long trying to take the hairs off the skin as you would be using this to apply the product. So these all have to go in the bin. Like, there just is no use for them. There's just so much breakage with them. Maybe just use it dry as a, what's the word I'm looking for, dusting brush, you know, for your computer keypad or whatever. That's the only thing I'd use those for. Now moving on, this Beauty Blender dupe was from an Irish brand called AU. They sent me their stuff, and sometimes I feel a bit guilty about mentioning stuff like that, but that's not going to put me off saying I don't like something. I mean, other people could like it, I'm just saying it wasn't for me. So they sent me some of their brushes, which were grand. Like, they were nice brushes. I wasn't absolutely blown away by them, but they were nice brushes as far as brushes go. But this I hated. So this is the Beauty Blender, their dupe of it, and it's just so hard. Yeah, I used it once and I tried to wash it and it was just ridiculous. So I just hate any of those ones. It was similar to the Inglot one as well. It's so hard, it actually left really like loud bopping noises on the skin, and yeah, don't like this at all. I have to move swiftly onwards because my battery's clicking at me. I don't know where the actual proper thing of this is, but I have the outside box, and this is the Mini Miracle Eye Wand by Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Dynamic Duo Lift and Illuminate. So one side of this was the concealer, and the other side was the eye serum that you're supposed to put on first. The serum was nice. The concealer itself I found absolutely useless, and considering this is like 30 something odd euro, because it's Charlotte Tilbury, who is like uber high end, I was so disappointed. I was really expecting amazing stuff from her. I know other people like rave about her stuff and say how amazing it is. Now, in all fairness, it's the only thing of hers I've tried, so I won't let this totally muddy my opinion on the brand, but for my first go of one of their products, I just thought it was useless. The actual, I don't know where the actual thing is itself, but just take my word for it, I didn't like it. The other people could love it now, but I found that the concealer had very, very little coverage. And if I didn't use it with the serum, it showed up all the texture and looked kind of dry under my skin as the day went on. And as I will mention in a few minutes, I don't like any product that absolutely has to be used in conjunction with another product for it to work. So that's why I was so disappointed with this, particularly for the price as well. Another product, and I do have the actual thing to show you, is the Cat Eye Ink eyeliner by Pixie. Now, Pixie is a brand that they send me a lot of things, and by and large I tend to like most of their things. This, however, I didn't. It's just the rigidness of this pen. So it's one of these little marker eyeliners, and it has like an angle to it. It's kind of like a calligraphy style pen. Is that what it's called? No, but it is a calligraphy style pen. It's way too rigid. It just pulled and tugged at my skin. Could not get a nice line, and it wasn't wet enough to glide over the skin. So I'm just not really a fan of these felt pens in general, or felt eyeliners, but that was that anyhow. the Palmer's Cocoa Butter formula with vitamin E. I used to like this, and then for some reason my lips hate it now. It just seems to make my lips feel dry as I put it on. It has SPF 15 in it, which in theory is good. With vitamin E, again, in theory that's really good, but it just doesn't do anything for my lips. I put it on, my lips just don't feel comfortable afterwards, which is a shame. This is another offender as well when it comes to lips. The Baby Lips by Maybelline. I would like slather this on like any other one. I mean, I love the Labello, but this again makes my lips feel drier rather than hydrated. So it's kind of like Vaseline, where you constantly need to apply it. I only like certain lip balms, and I hate the Baby Lips by Maybelline. It just really doesn't do anything for my lips. This is cheap and cheery, so it definitely didn't break the bank to try it, but it is this Primark or Penny's mini eye lash curler. Just didn't do a thing to my lashes. Absolutely useless. Looks pretty, but totally useless. And the fact that it was only a few quid, there's no bother to that. But I thought it was worth mentioning. Then, oh, what have I in here? Oh, surprise, surprise, another, oh no, this is actually not Sigma. This is, actually no, this shouldn't be in here. It's a MAC brush, but this is 10 years old, easily. And actually this should have went into my used up products brush, but it is absolutely battered. But this would have been cleaned with alcohol every day because it was in my kit. So yeah, that did me well while it lasted. Okay, so some eyebrow products I hated, and I really do hate this formula. It is the Wet n Wild brow pencils, the Colour Icon ones, and they're just really, really soft. So you cannot get it like a rigid straight line with them. As you apply the pencil to your skin, it just melts into the skin, if you know what I mean. So I just hate that kind of pencil. Again, it's not expensive or anything like that, and some people might like it, but for me, I really, really don't like those on my eyebrows. Now this next one might be a bit controversial, but it is, and it's not something I hate, it's just something I'm not bonkers about. So it is the Urban Decay Riff eyeshadow that everyone and their aunt was getting their knickers in a twist over. And I just think it's grand. Like, it doesn't really bother me either way. I just don't see the fuss over it so much. I mean, it is lovely on blue eyes, but there's loads of other colours that are lovely on blue eyes. So I didn't really, I think it's more like this is an overhyped thing for me rather than a complete fail. I've never done an overhyped video actually. That's an idea. But anyhow, I think it's just more so that because it was so hyped, I was expecting such amazing things from this, and I was just left a little bit underwhelmed. So it's not a complete failed product by any means. I was just a bit like, like, it's nice, it's grand, but I think it's more, this would go into more of the overhyped category for me rather than a fail. Okay, down to the last two things. We have this I really wanted to love. It is the Catrice Velvet Finish Foundation with Hyaluron. Has an SPF of 30 and it's long lasting. I love anything that's hydrating that contains hyaluronic acid. My problem with this is that the colour was just so off. So with Catrice in general, the lightest colour of any of their foundations usually matches me. So I got this without even swatching it, because usually, like I said, the lightest colour will be absolutely perfect on me because I have so many of their other foundations and they all match me. And this one is way too dark. It's very, very pink, which is unusual because a lot of the other ones, like particularly the Even Skin Tone foundation, has more of a yellow tone for the lightest ones. So the lightest one that I could get my hands on anyhow, which was 010 Light Velvet, it's more like an NW20 in MAC terms, so it definitely doesn't match my skin, which I was so sad about. And it kind of looks light when it first comes on, but it just oxidizes for whatever reason and just was way, way too dark. So again, I was so sad about that because I really wanted to love it, love the idea of it. I actually really like how it feels on the skin, but it just did not match me. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is, this is actually probably going to surprise people because most people just go on and on about how amazing it is. It is the Inglot eyeliner gel or eyeliner cream. Now I have the black one as well, it's in my kit, but these are the gel pots, and you can see here one of the reasons why I don't like it. I mean, this doesn't happen to me with the MAC or anything like that. These dry up. Now they are amazing when used with jawline, but like I mentioned earlier, I hate for one product to be reliant on another product for it to be good. So these are amazing for the first few goes, and then within a week or so they will dry up. And what prompted me to add this to this video was I was doing a makeup job recently, a bridal work actually, and I had ran out of my MAC gel eyeliner, which is what I usually use in my kit, and I had my Inglot, the black one of this, and I forgot my jawline. I just had taken it out of my kit because of another job like an Aegis. So when I got to the job, all I had was the black Inglot gel or cream without the jawline, and I had nothing else to soften it with, and it was useless, absolutely useless. So I just couldn't use it, like it would not go on smooth. I just had to kind of wet eyeshadow, black eyeshadow, and use that, which was a bit of a pain, but I made it work. It was fine. But this is absolutely useless after a while without the jawline. So for me, that's just a little bit of a waste, having to get a second product to make one product work. And then the second reason that prompted me to talk about this as like a product I'm kind of disappointed with is that when you do mix it with jawline, not so much on yourself, this is more to do with my professional kit, but I would be using this, I was using it in my kit, like with the jawline, and I do love the finish it gives. I love how it's quite long lasting, and it gives a lovely like black finish. It's actually blacker than the MAC one. But when you do mix it with the jawline, because the jawline is a thinner or a mixing medium, it takes a lot longer to dry. So what would happen would be, I would apply it on my bride or whoever, and I'd say make sure you keep looking down to give it a chance to dry, and they'd be looking down for ages, and then they'd look up thinking it was long enough, and it would transfer because it takes so long to dry with the jawline. I'm just going to warn you, this will probably die in a minute because that has been flashing for ages, so just in case it does, I'll say goodbye in advance. But yeah, it's just the amount of times where it just ruined eyeshadow, because once it does transfer up, you really have to take everything off, like, because it does kind of cling onto the skin. So that was a big annoyance as well. Again, it's not really something you worry so much about when you're just doing it on yourself, because you know how long to look down for and you can be a little bit more controlled over it. But when you're working on a bridal party and they're all excited and they want to look around and see what's happening, that's when the issue arises with me, or arrived with me. So anyhow, those are my kind of fails, disappointing, overrated products for now. And yeah, like I said, don't let this necessarily put you off all of these products. Always shop around with the reviews when it comes to like looking at good reviews and bad reviews. Don't always just take my word for it. But that's just my opinion on these products and why I didn't like them and why they didn't work for me. So if any of you have any opinions on these products, let me know in the comments below. And that's it for now, guys. I will see you all on Tuesday for my next video. So have a good weekend and take care of yourselves till then. So long, guys.